Okay guys, we're going to walk through how to set up the ERBE Jet system for use in an advanced procedure, specifically coming up with Dr. Samo, utilizing it for ESD. This is the system you're going to want to use, most notably because it has the ERBE Jet system here on the bottom. This is our hydrosurgery water jet technology system that is used in advanced cases. Before we get started, a little checklist of what you're going to need. You're going to want your methylene blue or indigo carmine. You're going to want your saline bag, okay? Because we're going to go ahead and inject this into the saline bag to get this to turn almost kind of a Caribbean blue, so we don't want it too dark. I'd say about 3 or 4 drops. Take a look. If we want to go darker, we can always go darker, okay? So you'll need that. Obviously your saline bag and your secondary tubing, okay? And then you'll need one of our hybrid knives. We have either an I or a T knife. So you have to ask the doctor what the preference is prior to grabbing one of these. And then you'll need an ERBE Jet cartridge. This is the pump cartridge that'll plug into this socket here, okay? So once the units are on the electrosurgical unit, number 1A is your ESD setting. That's the one we're going to want to use. So to get into any setting, right, we just press the button next to where we want to go. Look for our foot pedal. That's lit up on the socket because that's telling us this is the socket we're going to use. And then we got to marry that green light with the socket to bring up our larger settings. 2. And then we're up and ready to go. Okay, so if you look then on the ESD setting, there's only 2 programs listed. One's for liver and then one's for POEM and ESD. Obviously we'll choose the ESD setting. That'll bring you into here. I'll bring this up a little closer. And if you look at the bottom, it's blinking. It says, please insert new cartridge. So that's the first step that we're going to do. Okay? So we'll take our cartridge, open it up. There's a little twisty on the end here that will take off. That's what will plug in to your secondary tubing. Okay? So when you do plug this in, you need to plug it in pretty firm, and then I want you to hold it in firm as it grips the pistons, okay? So we'll go ahead and do that. You'll feel it grip, grip, grip. Okay, and then you're done. Okay, next step, secondary tubing. So if you want to go ahead, obviously, and get that into your saline bag here, okay? Go ahead and prime that tubing. Once you're primed, go ahead and clamp it off. Once you've clamped it off, we'll go ahead and plug into to the pump, okay? So it just kind of twists in and locks, okay? And you're good to go, all right? Next, go ahead and grab your hybrid knife. Here it is. Okay, there's a little white piece of tape that's just going to hold all of them together. You can take that off. Okay, so once you've got it out, first thing you want to do is look for your 3-prong. That's what will be connecting into the electrosurgical unit, where your foot pedal is lit up telling you that's the socket. Okay, go ahead and plug in. Next thing you want to do is grab this little connector. This is the piece that'll plug into the ERBE Jet pump, okay? It's kind of a flat surface at 12 and 6 o'clock for your finger and your thumb. So you're going to want to plug that in. So you can see it's going right into the front here. Give it a good push and you'll hear a click. Okay? See that? Okay. So once you're in, you're pretty much ready to go, but very important to remember, we were clamped off on our secondary tubing. Go ahead and unclamp so we've got a free flow. And then if you go back to your ERBE Jet screen, it'll tell you press start button to prime. So we'll go ahead and do that. And you'll see it priming. Okay. Once you're done there, as you can see, this is the end of our knife here, and there is some fluid, so it shows that it is primed to the tip. If for some reason it is not, don't worry about that. Just go down to your ERBE Jet pedal, the gray pedal here, okay? And we'll just stand on it until we see fluid come out in the sheath. Okay, you can see it, we've got it. That means we're primed and we're ready to go. Now this tubing doesn't come off. This just kind of keeps both of those cords together. You've got your white handle for knife out and knife in. It does not lock, so once you're, or excuse me, it does lock. So once you're out, you don't have to keep your finger on the button, okay? And then this, the knife will just come out of the sheath. Okay? So as I showed you before, knife out, knife in, okay? And that's when you're essentially locked in and you're ready to go, all right? There is a secondary socket. The second monopolar socket is where you have your active cord plugged in. That is for use for a coag grasper, in case they come across any blood vessels that are larger than the tip of their knife. He's going to want to take out the knife and then use the coag grasper. They can simply do that by hitting the black button on the double foot pedal, the yellow and blue foot pedal. That'll get you to your 1B setting, or you can simply back out and go to your grasper setting, okay? Again, I will be at the first several cases to help you with those issues as well, if they become issues, all right? So that's about it. The only last thing when we talk about these two items, so the knife and the cartridge, once they're plugged in, especially at the cartridge, they're married together. They cannot come apart. So if for some reason any issues should arise with a knife, which is extremely rare, and you'd have to replace it, you'd have to take out the pump cartridge as well. Okay, so once the case is over, you'll see an eject button here. See that? Just go ahead and hit eject. Okay, and then you can just pull out the cartridge. Excuse me, I didn't get that very good. There you go. So that'll just come out. You can pull that out along with the knife and you're all done. Okay, I will create a kind of a cheat sheet for you, a step-by-step that you guys can use as reference, along with kind of itemize all the pieces that you'll need prior to the case. Okay, thank you very much.